It's just gone past 8, I think. We might as well start. Maybe a few people will join us in a minute. Hello, everyone. My name is Doris Suchet, and I'm the School Development Manager at ISC Research. Thank you for joining me today again for the final part in our webinar series, designed to share with you some ways in which you can use data and intelligence to support your school in confirming your market position and to inform your strategy. For those of you who may not be familiar with ISC Research, we are the recognized source of data and intelligence on the world's international schools market. We monitor market trends and research topics of interest. My role is in part to develop relationships with international schools and support them in their development. Whilst last week's webinar focused on marketing and admissions, today's session is all about sharing the latest market data to inform your school development or expansion plans. So today I will be sharing with you some highlights of last week's discussions and the latest market intelligence on recruitment and CPD and marketing and admissions. I'll share with you the latest international schools market data and regional growth areas. And finally, we will discuss why market intelligence is essential in executing your development plans effectively. As always, I'd like to keep this session as interactive as possible, so please feel free to ask questions in the chat throughout the presentation. If we have time at the end, we will answer them then, or we can always, I can always get back to you if you leave your contact details with me as well. My contact details will be shared at the end of the presentation as well. So let's get started. A couple of weeks ago, in our first webinar in this series, we focused on recruitment and CPD trends. So here are just a few of the teacher recruitment trends we're seeing at the moment. We're seeing extended teacher contracts to ensure staff retention and to avoid recruitment challenges related to continuing COVID border restrictions. There's also notable drive towards the hiring of local qualified teachers. Not only is this in response to challenges caused by COVID-19, but more international schools are valuing and promoting the benefits local teachers bring in terms of culture and language skills and understanding. One of the challenges of this trend can be finding local teachers with the correct pedagogy for your school and curriculum. Accordingly, we are seeing a small but increasing number of schools and school groups offering teacher training or supporting new teacher qualifications in-house. And more schools are addressing DEIJ, diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice in their teacher and leadership selection. Many associations and accreditations, such as ECIS, have some very useful webinars and professional development to help ensure diversity, equity, and inclusion is embedded in your school and its operations. Our research also shows that international schools are increasingly considering attributes such as proficiency in using technology to support learning and high emotional intelligence. And what about the most popular CPD formats in international schools? Well, 66% of international schools said they plan to develop the skills of their current teaching staff in the use of education technology to support teaching and learning over the next 2 years. Our research emphasizes the fact that international schools should support lifelong learning habits for their teachers, just as they do for students. To support lifelong learning habits, CPD is being adapted to better match staff needs and support their well-being. Fulfilled teachers with opportunities to develop their skills are more likely to keep working with the international schools that support them. Our research also shows that hybrid CPD is likely to be the most popular format choice for the future, combining opportunities for face-to-face interactions along with flexible access to content that's delivered via virtual learning environments. The recording of this session is available on the ISC Research YouTube channel if you are interested in finding out more on this topic. Then last week, I presented the outcomes of recent research we carried out on international school admissions, teaching and learning and student pathways, which showed how the COVID-19 pandemic acted as a catalyst for change. Here are some of the lessons learned from International Schools Marketing and Admissions session. According to our research, schools need to stay competitive to keep attracting parents and students locally. They need to refine their key selling points in line with market demand, improve the well-being of the entire school community, not just the students, and consider hybrid or blended learning models. Finally, they really need to understand the changes to the student pathways to higher education as an opportunity to work closer with higher education institutions. Again, the recording of last week's webinar is available on the YouTube channel if you're interested in finding out more. I think we're going to also post both of these links in the chat right now. So if you attended our previous webinars, you've heard me explain why data is useful to inform your school strategy. Today, let's focus on bigger plans and longer term plans for development and potentially expansion. I'm about to share with you some of our latest data, including data points that you could keep watching to inform your development plans. So here you can see data as current as January of this year, 2022, on the world's international schools market and how it has grown in the last 10 years. Throughout the year, the entire research team at ISC Research gathers data and intelligence about enrollment, staffing, recruitment, and the latest school practice for the current academic year. This is an ongoing process of direct communication and surveys with school leaders and key organizations to identify market developments and shifts as they emerge. So based on our research, we know that as of January this year, there were 12,853 international schools around the world. These schools have 5.7 million students enrolled. They are employing 557 teaching staff, and they are generating $53 billion from school fees alone. The total growth since 2012 that you see here highlights just how strong the market is. Overall, we know the market has demonstrated incredible resilience throughout COVID-19, and it looks set to come out of the pandemic stronger than ever, which is great news. So where are most international schools based, and which regions record highest growth in school and student numbers? Let's look at the regional breakdown of the market. So this pie chart shows the percentages of international schools globally broken down by region. It is clear to see that Asia continues to dominate the market with 58% of international schools. Europe comes next, accounting for 18% of international schools. When we look more closely at the Asia region, as you can see in the smaller pie chart, East Asia, Southeast Asia, Western Asia, and Southern Asia all have very similar numbers of international schools, varying between 13 and 15% of the global market. To better understand the development potential in Asia and Europe, let's take a closer look at the two largest Asian subregions, Western and Eastern Asia and Europe. Here you can see the leading countries within Western Asia for the number of international schools and student enrollment as of January this year. The UAE leads the world for international schools with 755, which are serving the learning needs of 703,900 students. Saudi Arabia has 292 schools, serving just over 300,000 students. Qatar has 173 schools, serving 159,000 students. Interestingly, over 400 international schools in the UAE are members of school groups. School groups are worth considering in your development plans, as they will drive noticeable changes in the market through their own development, whether in acquiring or opening new schools or implementing innovative practice. More details about the international schools market and future potential for growth and development are available within our global, sub-regional and country level market intelligence reports. This set of data included in these reports will help you identify opportunities in each market, changes in regulations and demand levels that may impact your plans. Here you can see the leading countries within the Southeast Asia region when it comes to the number of international schools and student enrollment as of January this year. So we have China. China continues to lead the region for international schools with 1,108 schools, which are serving the learning needs of close to 420,000 students. Japan has 347 schools serving 70,000 students, and Hong Kong has 207 schools serving 81,000 students. So a high enrollment ratio per school than Japan, which is interesting. It's worth noting that recent changes in the Chinese government policies and regulations are impacting the international schools market. Although schools and student numbers keep growing, there is a very significant concern about the movement of expatriate teachers away from China due to the very rigid travel restrictions into and out of the country as a result of COVID. International schools in China are developing alternative strategies to their traditional recruitment practices to ensure they have enough teachers for the 22-2023 academic school year. Our China Market Intelligence Report provides further details to inform your plans here. What about Europe? Europe remains a key region within the international schools market. Here you can see enrollment growth over the last 5 years in international schools in Europe compared to global growth during the same time. Europe is considered a fairly saturated market for international schools, but continues to see steady enrollment growth within the region. However, this does vary from country to country. So enrollment in Germany, for example, has declined over the last 5 years. Interviews conducted by our field-based research team indicate that the enrollment pool in Germany for international schools is very defined and unlikely to grow unless the country experiences significant change. Certainly in the cities where there are multiple international schools, it seems to be universally acknowledged that any schools experiencing a notable enrollment increase is likely to be doing so at the expense of another international school. There have been some notable shifts in international school fees as well in recent years. In order to analyze market growth of the fee types of international schools, ISC Research splits the market into premium fee schools, mid-market fee point schools, and low fee schools. This split is based only on the fees and makes no judgment on the standard of the school academically. So you could have an academically outstanding school that falls into the mid-market fee sector purely because it doesn't have, let's say, an IMAX cinema or the latest state-of-the-art sports activities for which it could charge premium. So premium fee schools represent the top 25% of international schools based upon their fees in each country. This slide shows the growth over 10 years from January 2012 to January 2022. For premium fee international schools and their student enrollment, staffing, and total fee income. As you can see, premium schools have grown. As you can see, premium fee schools growth has outperformed the overall international schools market with a 74% growth in the number of schools and the same percentage, 74% growth in the number of students and 122% growth in fee income. One thing that our research has found is that even in the most challenging of circumstances, many parents will prioritize their children's education over the household costs or over other household costs, and in many cases respond positively to fee increases by a school, actually, if the school is transparent about how these fees are being used to benefit their students and community. Parents want and are increasingly more vocal about wanting. So make sure your marketing messages are aligned with this. They want quality teaching. They want truly international curriculum, better than average pastoral and SEN provision, as well as extracurricular activities and longer school hours. And they are willing to pay for this. Here you can see the growth trends over the past 5 years of both the premium fee and mid-market fee sectors of the global market. Although the mid-market fee sector of international schools is attracting more students than the premium fee sector, growth in premium fee school student enrollment remains stable. In other words, the international schools market as a whole is broadening to meet the needs of a wider range of students. If you are particularly interested in the mid-market fee school segment, I recommend downloading our white paper published on this subject a few months ago now, The Growing Demand for International Schools Within a Mid-Market Fee Point. This particular white paper covers how ISC Research identifies schools within a mid-market fee point, how this growth segment impacts the global international schools market, and how the segment impacts specific markets in the UAE, Qatar, China, Japan, Malaysia, and Germany using key data points and qualitative case studies. The way you find all these white papers I'm mentioning is you go to our website, actually on our page, iscresearch.com, then under intelligence section, and then white papers. To inform your development plans, you might also want to consider the most popular examinations. So here are the top 3 school leaving qualifications offered within the international schools market. The percentages that you can see here are based on all international schools serving 16 to 18-year-olds. International A-levels remain the most popular exit qualification and are offered by 34% of international schools serving 16 to 18-year-olds. And the International Baccalaureate Diploma program is also very popular, and it is offered at 26% of all international schools. So now we have covered the types of data and intelligence that could inform your development and expansion plans. Let's discuss how you can access it. ISC Research can provide you with the market data, intelligence, and expertise you need to understand market position and potential, or to inform your plans for development. First of all, how does ISC Research identify an international school? So for the purpose of a data collection and analysis, we include an international school in this if the school delivers curriculum to any combination of preschool, primary, or secondary students, wholly or partially in English, outside an English-speaking country. Or if a school in a country where English is one of the official languages, it offers an English medium curriculum other than the country's national, and the school is international in its orientation. That is our definition of an international school. You might also be wondering about the extent of our data. Well, our data includes school location and ownership, age phases, student enrollment, capacity, student nationality, fees, contact details of staff across many functions and seniority levels, staff salaries and benefits, nationalities of staff and students, facilities, quality assurances, examinations, and curriculum, and also school supply. We also gather demographics and socioeconomic statistics for key regions and countries, and some cities even, including population and growth rate, which impacts the demand and prospective demand for school places. Most data and intelligence supplied by us is collected directly from senior leaders and at international schools. This data and intelligence gathering is conducted year-round by our field research consultants, supported by our desk researchers. We also use trusted local sources, market experts, and government bodies to acquire reliable market intelligence. The raw data and intelligence is then verified and analysed to produce the most reputable, current and comprehensive research on the international school sector. Also, importantly, because we have been collecting and analysing this data for more than 25 years now, ISC Research is also able to produce valuable market trends and projections. Now, at ISC, we believe strongly that data is good, but it's nothing without intelligence. We analyze and combine our data with the market intelligence we collect on public schooling and education system, government regulations impacting international education, growth areas, and new developments to produce a broad range of in-depth reports. So this is just an overview of the most popular reports that we can produce for you here. Global intelligence reports, which track global market developments and identify opportunities to formalize your vision and create your strategy. We also produce market-specific reports, which will delve into your target segments. There are also the commercial intelligence reports we produce, which are designed specifically for education suppliers and higher education institutions to keep track of market trends. We produce many bespoke reports to help you refine your strategy and development plans with macro and micro environment analysis. Specialist reports, from which you can learn about the common practices and market needs of international schools. And finally, a suite of white papers, which again keep you informed of important discussion topics happening within the international schools market. So let's home in on a few of these in greater detail to bring out the value of one or two reports in particular. A great way to identify the markets that are relevant to your strategic objectives is to refer to our International Schools Annual Market Report. The International Schools Annual Market Report, the latest one, 2021, is designed to inform your strategy at all phases of its development. The report provides you with a thorough research and analysis to understand the market changes that influence the development and growth of international schools. This report includes data and intelligence on prominent and most promising markets, information on current market shifts, a historical overview of the international schools market, identification of the market-leading countries, market intelligence on the global landscape, and insights into the future of the market. From this comprehensive research, you could then delve into more specific markets through the market-specific reports we produce, including those that are bespoke to your requirements. So this particular report is very popular with school groups and consultancies that want to maybe corroborate the anecdotal knowledge of the market, or indeed educate themselves or people around them in decision-making positions about the latest trends and the state of the international schools market. So if your school group or consultancy is looking for a reputable data and research partner, then a more comprehensive option requiring discussions with their field experts may be what you want to consider. Our research partnership will provide you with all the market reports, data, and the expertise to support you. So as a partner, you have access to live data, so through a portal that we call Outreach. Is our live data portal that features analysis tools and dynamic dashboards, which will display key data points, including updated numbers of international schools, local IB world schools, and future schools set to open soon. It will also include a count of the international school staff, students, and contacts in our database, and a regional breakdown of international schools, among other data points included as well. This portal provides access to a searchable database, essentially, which includes data on over 12,000 international schools globally, contact details of 55,000 school staff across all functions and seniority levels, information on more than 500 school groups, and details of school associations and accreditations, including their member schools. Now, as a partner, you also get access to market intelligence reports that I've just mentioned, whether you need global intelligence to inform your strategy or market-specific intelligence to find out more about a targeted segment. And as I said, we offer a broad range of off-the-shelf reports and bespoke reports based on our in-depth research. You may want to select a report that is most relevant to your plans, or more than one report, in fact, as part of our research partnership from our range of global intelligence or market-specific reports. And finally, I think that the true key unique selling point of the partnership is without a doubt for me, and is the expert advice that you have regular access to as an ongoing partner of ours. You have the opportunity to discuss current market trends with experts from our field research team, the very people who gather the intelligence and data that you have access to, and are surely best placed to provide the narrative around the numbers and give you a wider perspective on whatever it is that you're researching. So if any of the reports I have so far mentioned, or indeed the research partnership, other types of services you would like to discuss with us further, then just, please reach out or connect with me on LinkedIn, or leave a message now in the chat, and I'll be happy to follow it up with a call. Now, let's not forget that we do, and some of the, actually a few of the reports I've mentioned are all available for free. We provide free access to a lot of valuable resources, especially if you're new to ISC. This is a good way to start. The best way to access our publications, our white papers, our specialist papers, the International School Leader magazine, is actually through a subscription to ISC Insight. ISC Insight is a data portal for schools. It's a paid subscription in the premium version, but there is also a light free version of this, giving you limited access to your local data, but also all the white papers and a selection of free specialist reports, as well as the subscription to International School Leader magazine, the free publication promoting good practice across the international schools community that we publish. So once you're a member, once you are with us through ISC Insight, again, you sort of don't need to remember to reach out to us every now and then for an update on the market. You will get alerted to the latest publications and other series of webinars maybe coming up. You sort of stay within our community and keep your fingers on the buzzer, so to speak. So I would recommend signing up. It's really easy. You go to our website, to the Insight page, and then it sort of scrolls down in two columns for the paid subscription and the free one. And if you want to start with the free one and get introduced to us, that might be the best way to do this. All the instructions are on the website as well, I think. That's it from me. I think we have some time. Oh gosh, 8:29 again, perfect timing, good. We've got a few minutes left, so I shall have a look in the chat just to see. Oh, thank you, Nuri. Thank you, Nuri. Oh, Nuri is there. Hello, Nuri. We've got the two links, don't forget, in the chat. If you've missed the previous two webinars, if I may say so myself, they were very popular, both topics, the latest trends on recruitment and CPD. We have a specialist report that costs £395 on the recruitment, the latest trends on the recruitment and what's going on there from the perspective of the schools and the teachers and the recruiters, but it can be yours if for free if you book a call with me. So if you I always say it's not a bad piece of research for a coffee with me, so just do that if you want to know more. And also the admissions trends webinar from last week was probably a best subscribed yet. It was a lot of nice, interesting data on how to improve your marketing messages and what to remember and what to think of, especially with the effects of the pandemic upsetting the market somewhat. Now, do we have any more questions?
Doris, there's a question from LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'm reading just now. How do we define a school do we include online schools? This is an interesting one. I think on one of the slides I did mention how we identify an international school. The interesting thing about how we do this is that we have always done this, meaning again, our historical data is very accurate because we've never changed the way we identify an international school. Which is if it's a school, for most of the schools, therefore, if it's a school in a non-English speaking country, it's a school that teaches at least part of its curriculum in English. Do we have data on online schools? Yes, we do, but not so much historically as it is a new trend. But yes, for the last 2 years, we have started collecting data on international schools. And in fact, we are about to publish our first comparative study of the international, of the online schools or schools that provide online tuition in March, I believe. So if you would like to know more, it's going to be a commercial report. So it will cost something. It won't be a white paper, it won't be a free paper, but let me know if you're interested. There will be further research, and it's going to be a data-driven report, very much so. So we've just finished collecting data on this, but it's going to be the first time we publish it, so we're all very excited about that. And I think, do we have any papers on Chinese private local schools? We would have to probably look at what you mean by private local schools exactly. Normally we say, as I said, we stick to our definition of international schools, and we don't provide data, and we don't hold data on what we understand local schools to be, i.e. the ones that do not teach international curriculum in any part, or English isn't the language of instruction. Having said that, in China, we call a lot of schools, we have data on what we call bilingual schools. So schools that perhaps have grown the local way, but then started teaching some of the curriculum is international and taught in English. So we do have data on those. Probably the best report ever on China will be the market intelligence report. Again, it's not a free paper, but it's one of our best researched market, I would suggest, and the longest report, obviously, because of the market size. But we have a fresh current report on China. Thank you, Sandra. I do try to keep them as informative. I think the biggest challenge with data, I think, it's a bit like coffee. It's a bit of a commodity. You can have just a coffee, or you can make it into an experience. And I find that a little bit with data as well. There's plenty of it out there, but perhaps showing schools and school groups and people that we work with just how it can be used to help you guys, not just in a commercial sense, but really whatever good commercial decisions schools make will impact on the academic excellence of the school, of course, as well. So it's kind of like helping you guys, bringing it perhaps more forth in your daily practices to look at data and just look a little bit, look up away from just internal data and look at the competitive landscape and just have a look at what others are doing and what it could mean to your school. So you're very welcome. So yes, we do have somebody also asked about, I believe Mandarin, not international, but international curriculum. I think perhaps you mean, again, what we call bilingual schools in China. Again, we do have a lot of data on these schools, and we do have intelligence in our latest market intelligence report on China. So just get in touch with me. I think you can see, I don't know if you can see this, the red on black is interesting, but it's Doris.Suchet at iscresearch.com, or just find me on LinkedIn. Book a call with me. It's really easy, and I can tell you more. This is kind of what I do all day, and that's the best part of my job, I say, speaking to you guys. Best wishes from Bond. Thank you very much, Philip. Indian market, yes. Hashita, yes, we do. India is one of what we consider, a few countries we consider tier 1 countries. So this means that we go there first, we go there regularly. So we have good current data and good historical data as well. Again, and historical data is important for projections, trends, the accuracy of the insights into the future. They always make me sort of smile a little bit. It's as if we've got the crystal ball, but we don't. But we've got the second best thing, which is data, we believe. But yes, absolutely, we do. And I do. There is more interest, in fact, from the Indian market. I'm speaking to Indian schools and partners over there more and more. So get in touch if you would like to know more. And I think that's it for all the questions. Am I missing anything, Liz? As I said, if you new to this, if you want to find out whether you can trust us really and the quality of our data, the best way to do it is probably sign up as a school to Insight Lite. It's always been there. This is not something that we've just introduced, the paid version of the platform. We have introduced as a product just now. In one of the presentations, I'm talking more about the product specific for schools. Again, have a look at the previous webinars as well. But the light version, the free version, has always been this is something that we give back to the community, and it gives you a tiny insight, if you like, into how you get insights into your local data, so your country, but it kind of, again, teaches you the sort of behaviors of perhaps decision making using data, and having it there available to you just before the next board meeting or senior leadership team meeting might be a useful and a good way to start. Right, I'm going to stop here and let you go. 40 minutes is not too bad. Thank you very much. If you've been in all 3 webinars and have given me your Tuesday morning or afternoon, wherever you are, then you're a star, and I thank you. And I look forward to speaking to you all again, hopefully soon. Thank you very much.